Hello, my name is Matthew, and just the other day I was walking by my bookshelves and a certain book caught my eye, and it was this one. It's Micromegas and Other Stories by Voltaire. And uh, I love Voltaire. He's one of my favorite French writers, and I haven't read him in a while. And I was just thinking, I haven't done a video series in a while. I did a Maupassant Mondays, where each week I would read a short story by Maupassant, or Wild Wednesdays. I had a series on Edgar Allan Poe, and I thought I would start reading some Voltaire stories. Right now, I have a great read along going on with Steve Donahue. We're reading the Iliad together, and I'm also reading the first book of the Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, which is great fun, and it's a perfect counterbalance to reading the Iliad. Um, Having my bedtime reading with the Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, has been great. And between those two books, most of my reading time um, is spent with them. But I thought there's tons of these short stories and tales uh, by Voltaire that can be read in a sitting, and I thought I would try Voltaire Tuesdays. Uh, and there's a couple reasons. I, as soon as I thought of this, I thought that this is a really good idea. The main thing is that I enjoy reading Voltaire, and I'm already looking forward to um, reading these stories. Um, but for the longest time, I'm just so surprised with how little there is available um, by Voltaire in English. All you ever hear about is Candide, as if Voltaire is uh, something like Harper Lee, where there's just the one book. If you go to any major bookseller, bookstore, there's a really good chance that the only thing that you're going to find, if there's anything, is going to be Candide. Um, there's a few other things that you can get in English, but Voltaire led a long, very active life where he was writing the whole entire time. He was a professional writer in French bookstores and French libraries. There's whole shelves of Voltaire. He was a voluminous letter writer, and you could see these French books where it's just like a whole bookshelf of the letters of Voltaire. He was a playwright and a poet. He wrote philosophical things, and there's just an immense amount of writing of Voltaire out there, and I've put in a pretty good effort in um, researching and getting everything by Voltaire that I can, and this is what I have, and a lot of this is repeats anyway. So I have I have like 4 or 5 different editions of Candide, but I just picked one to show. It's his most famous, and pretty much his best work. It is the best thing I've read by Voltaire. And then there's also this thing that has short stories, Micromegas, which is a really fun science fiction story. It's a person that lives on like Saturn or Jupiter, and Voltaire describes how people that live on different planets are proportionately as big as the planet itself. And so, if a person that lives on Saturn hopped over the planets onto Earth, he would just be this towering giant with his head sticking out of the atmosphere. He would be so large because he would be uh, well proportioned for the size of the planet that he lives on. It's great. So on Pluto, they'd be like much people would be like much smaller. But there's Micromegas, Zadig, which is very similar to Candide in the kind of philosophical, satirical, madcap adventure story, kind of globe-trotting around and having absurd situations and huge coincidences and things like that. And there's a handful of other short stories in here. I have two of these, the Philosophical Dictionary. They're both abridged. One is more abridged than the other. But it's broken into uh, the format of a dictionary. I want to see if it'll have like a table of contents, which I guess it does not. Um, but an entry on what an abbey is, definition or an entry on Abraham, the soul, um, and it's a collection of essays that have that kind of biting wit. It's really hard-edged satire that you get with Voltaire, and then the pocket philosophical dictionary. This is an Oxford World's Classics, and this one might have a table of contents. This is not gonna. I don't want to spend time looking. Oh, here we go. So entries on atheism, baptism, beauty, animals, good, all is good, the limits of human intelligence, character, certainty, circumcision, and all of Voltaire just has like huge volumes of his nonfiction writing. The one book I could not find, which I might have gotten rid of, is his Letters from England. But I have his treatise on tolerance. This was, so there was a person that was publicly executed in Toulouse, France, and Voltaire got involved and wrote a kind of book-length essay. And then the portable Voltaire, which has little segments of things I'd be very interested in reading much more of, like his letters to Frederick the Great. And it has his poem that he wrote on the Lisbon earthquake. But yeah, so I thought I'd make kind of like an announcement. This Tuesday, I'll from now till then, I'm going to read Zadig by Voltaire. A little bit of a heads up, and each Tuesday I'll have a little Voltaire story. I think the more people reading the Voltaire, the better. So let me know if that interests you. If you'd like to read along, I can make sure I make announcements each week or something like that. And that's it. So what do you think about Voltaire Tuesdays? Let me know. Leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching.